Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's probably been, I don't know, a couple days or a week or so since the last update on the project. The Grizz, the Alpha Mill 7. What's it called? 7, yeah, okay, Alpha Mill. Anyways, alright, I'll stop. So yeah, as you can see, made some chips. So yeah, here we are. Pretty fun. Got to do a little shakedown, a shakedown run yesterday. Had some family come into town for Christmas, so been doing Christmas stuff and finished up finals of school. I think maybe last week. So the Grizz has been, getting a little slow on the updates, but fear not. So yeah, I just yesterday modeled up a couple, just things to cut in Fusion, and did them yesterday. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. It was a little hairy, a little scary, but successful. Nothing broke, and other than some, probably less than ideal feeds and speeds, we got her done. So super awesome. So we'll come back to the chips and that stuff later. The divot right there, that's what we'll talk about. I'll give you one guess what that is. That's the telltale sign of crashing a Heimer in the Z direction. So it's very exciting. Yeah, I found out when I disable pardon me, when I disable and restart mock, this pendant that I was using for jogging, the steps, it defaults to 100 thousandths per step, and yeah, I had restarted mock and I wasn't paying attention, and yeah, I crashed the Heimer in the Z-axis. 3 clicks on there is 300 thousandths, and it wouldn't have been a problem, had it not been 100 thousandths per step. But yeah, man, it was absolutely devastating, like just heartbreaking. Couldn't have asked for a worse. It's the worst possible direction you could crash a Heimer in the Z-axis, and as you can tell by the dent that it left in the cast iron, it came up on the hard stop internally, and of course the probe shattered. But yeah, I've taken it apart and got a new probe and stuff on it, but it's just not right. Even after setting the null value, it's off by like 4 or 5 thousandths in a couple different directions. So yeah, we'll definitely I've taken this apart, and now it's not as it's no longer new. We'll make a video on tearing one of these apart. It's sort of neat inside. But Stuart, bless his soul, purchased another one. So yeah, man, you live and learn. I told him, and I was like, I'm serious, I absolutely destroyed the Heimer. And he's like, you're shitting me, quit joking. I was like, no, I literally destroyed it. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have been using that thing in the first place, and I was having some other problems with the M6 tool change. So we'll talk about that next. But so what led up to crashing the Heimer was trying to figure out the tool change for Mach 4, and I didn't think that it was, I didn't think I was going to have any issues with it. And after a bunch of head scratching and not much help on Google, I figured out that why my programs were just blowing by the M6 was because I didn't have a damn M6 macro in my macro folder, and I would have never thought that would have been a problem because I, copied the profile WX4, I think it was, and I went and looked at the stock profile on that, and it had the M6 in the macro folder, and mine didn't. So I just copy pasted it, and then it worked. And my tool changes and the height offsets, all of that stuff jives. And so yeah, once I figured that out after I crashed the Heimer, it was like, gosh darn it, because things just weren't making sense. But yeah, it after running the part yesterday and using the the defective Heimer, it's still good for messing around. But yeah, I proofed it out, and the couple little parts and things that I just ran, all of the height offsets and everything were jiving. So yeah, that's a good thing. So yeah, got some tooling and stuff coming, so getting don't really have much tooling on hand that is applicable to a machine of this size. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some some tooling and stuff that'll work real well. Here's one of the little test things that I cut yesterday, and yeah, it's pretty rewarding, man. I guess this is what it's all about. A year later, and finally, get to, carve out a dumb thing, and there it is. Yeah, pretty sweet. Wanted to make mention too. Must have been 1 or 2 videos ago, we were talking about the drawbar, and after the fact I'd noticed there was a sort of a funny popping noise when the collet was releasing. And yeah, I addressed that, and the where the drawbar goes through the center of the Belvilles, I wasn't sure if it was there. There was a little bit of wear on there and the parkerizing. So I cleaned that up a little bit on the surface grinder in a rotary 5C kind of thing, just to take a couple thousandths off of it. But I also blued up the Tormach TTS R8 collet, and after bluing it and pulling it up into the taper on this machine, it was just a really bad, zero contact at all. So I dolled that up with a little toolmaker stone and a diamond kind of flat, and also put some just a tiny bit of never sees or anti-seize, just some lubrication, for when the collet's always stroking back and forth, and that seems to solve the problem. And the couple times that been using it, things pretty slick. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I was a little concerned early on before all the air was out of the system. It was a little bit slow, I thought, but now it's cool. It's nice and speedy, and puts out some power. This ain't your grandma's drawbar right here, son. So So yeah, there's a little bit of noise and stuff that comes from, these decorative panels, they slide up and down on there, but I'd say for, cobbled together home built machine, it's working out all right so far. So that was just a little update. I saw Sam and some other people mention about you know, experiencing some popping noises on their, you know, various Tormach TTS kind of collet setups. So for the time being, I think that's what we'll go with on that. Keep you updated though. So as far as sort of the shakedown and how everything sort of worked, you know, everything worked really well. Let me squeeze over here and get a shot down. Yeah, no leaks or you know, any sort of like gotcha kind of things. Yeah, the spindle was seeming like it was running real nice. It wasn't hot. I'm sure the coolant, you know, shooting down on the tool and the tool holder and stuff probably helps. But yeah, it was really cool. Other than a little, you know, sort of hairy, you know, programming, like some maybe larger than optimal stepovers, but no, it was juicy. And the coolant too for the little, it's a little giant pump, and yeah, it works. I mean, I was blown away for the pressure it puts out, you know, considering how small it is. It seemed to be really working pretty nice. So, dang, my gimbal's dying on me. Let me open the coolant here. So yeah, I just eyeballed up a couple gallons of coolant. I don't have a bricks thing to do it proper, but maybe Santa Claus will bless me with one. But definitely a little on the greasy side. But yeah, the coolant really, I ran a couple test cuts dry, and there's definitely a big difference between, you know, lubrication and none. So yeah, no crazy leaks. I actually mixing that up, I got shot in the face. Like I was circulating the coolant and like the line came off and made a huge mess on the floor. But I'm still alive. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for right now. I'm running out of batteries and running out of things to talk about. This won't be the grand reveal, so Kent, or you know, you're going to have to hold off and wait for the fog machine reveal. But I'll put one together. So, oh, I think yeah. Let me turn the coolant on for you. I think it'll turn, yeah. It's coming. And that's with the three of them open. And this is just a little tiny pump, so, but if you get one on, then it's like super duper, oh my God. You see that reach on that, dude? That's like 400 PSI. So, cool. Turn it off. Dude, you gotta have buttons. If you don't have buttons, dude, come on, this is 2017. Get yourself some buttons. With that being said, thanks for watching, all the subscribers. Thumbs up if you like. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and we'll catch you real soon. Thanks a lot.